And we're back, episode 18 of the AI Code Central podcast. I've got Connor Douglas,
What up?
Chief Marketing Officer. And in this episode, we're going to go over high level paid media platforms. So, Connor, what would that be?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit just about how you get some of your paid platforms up. Think of things like Google Ads, Meta, TikTok, Reddit's another good one. We're going to go through some of that initial setup. Pretty quick overview.
Okay, cool. And we're interviewing Mark Vassilevskiy. He is the CEO, 19-year-old kid can't even legally drink. He is the CEO of Skale.solutions, the top design agency in Silicon Valley, working with
Mind
AI
blowing.
startups. So, kid's a boss, very smart, and he gave great insight on growing on X, by the way. So he spilled the sauce on that, but great interview.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But before we jump in all that, Charlie, what's going on, man? How you been? Been a couple days since I spoke to you. What's going on in your world?
Yeah, we when I say we, girlfriend and I buzzed up to the mountains end of last week. We went up Friday through Sunday. We went up to Winter Park where Trestle is, the downhill bike park.
Nice.
There was a little pub crawl in the mountain town. It's like a Keystone Vale, just not as like populated. So it's kind of nice, low key. There's a little pub crawl there. By the way, I have like 3 beers now, and I'm like banged up in the morning. Like it's kind of bad. So go up there. We got up the Thursday night. I go for a ride Friday around like noon, and get in the chair, get to the top, and I'm like on my bike, of course. Like I'm going to the first trail. It's like right before a jump line, and there was a guy in front of me. I was like, this guy looks familiar. And I was like, oh shit, wait. Like I was looking at his bike. It was a prototype bike. It was a guy I went riding with 2 weeks before Friday. So I guess that'd be like 2.5 weeks ago now. And he's like, that's my buddy's buddy. And I was like, wait, is that Trent? Is that you? And he was like, because I'm wearing the full face helmet and
Yeah, yeah,
goggles.
yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, dude, what? Like just randomly saw this guy. And he's like I think he's in his late 40s. He is so fast. He's sponsored by, he has a prototype downhill bike. So he gets these bikes like to test. He's sponsored by a local shop and he gets like, gear and parts and, all that stuff. Super nice dude. He's like, yeah, let's ride. And in my head, I'm like, dude, like you're like 10 times faster than me. But it's cool to ride with those guys. Like you learn so much about trail and like lines and how to pick your lines and all that. So yeah, it was cool to like randomly just run into him on the bike on the trail. So that was cool. We're at the top of the mountain, you know. So did a good first lap. Towards the end of the day, we hit a line. It's a pretty aggressive line. It's where the worlds are. So they like the top riders in the world like ride this downhill trail, and it's got like really big. They call them obstacles. So like
Wow.
rocks and gaps and it's pretty aggressive. I don't like riding it because it's so hard. It's so hard on your hands and it's just like jump lines are fine just because you just go in the air and this is like you're going down rocks and you have to avoid trees. Like I hit a tree there last year.
No,
Like I
thank you.
smoked this tree. I hit it pretty hard last year.
Oh, was that the whole clavicle thing
That
or
was the
whatever?
year.
What you
That was
do?
not. I tore my shoulder and I broke my hand and cracked
Just
my shoulder
see,
blade.
so you guys know, Charlie, like at least once a year, if not more than, injures himself and just terribly by downhill riding. So I don't
Yeah,
know why you keep doing this to yourself.
it's a lot of fun. It's also very dangerous. But so fast forward to Friday. This is not that trail. So we're towards the very end of the day. It's like 3:30. So we've been riding for like 3 straight hours, almost 4 straight hours. My hands are kind of gassed right now, but kind of used to it. So we pull up to this trail. This is where I hit the tree last year. So I just miscalculated. So there's a drop. There's about a 4 foot drop. So imagine being in a stadium at the top of a staircase. Okay. And you have to drop about 4 feet, which isn't bad, whatever. And there's a tree on either side after this drop. And last year I was going too fast and I landed on the side of a rock and my tire kind of like jackknifed and it kind of, your tire should be straight. My tire landed like that. And I just flipped over and I hit the tree.
Oh,
That's for it. And it's so steep, like you're at the top of a staircase. You just keep like you can't stop. So fast forward to Friday, I'm like, okay, I'm not making that mistake again. So he goes first, all right, I go second. I was going too slow. My tire got stuck on a rock and I flipped over the front of my bars. And again, it's like going down a staircase. And I roll, like I kind of like, I was like, oh, fuck. And I just kind of jumped. And I don't know if I tucked because it happened so fast, but luckily I was wearing my chest plate. there's a log, like a broken log, sticking out of the ground like this, and it
bro.
hit my chest plate, and it like went up like that, and it hit like the side of my chin, and it like as we're in a full face, and it like moved up like that, and I rolled into a tree.
That is brutal, man.
Yeah, and I was like, and it happened like a split second, and I was like, holy shit, that could have been so bad. I just picked up my bike, and my bike was fine. I just kept going. I was like, dude, my hands were like shaking, and my buddy Trent was like, dude, are you? I thought I heard something. Are you okay? And my hands were just like, like that. And I checked my chest plate, and there's like wood like inside, like on the. So I don't know if I would have been. I don't know if that wood sticking out would have stuck inside. I mean, it would have ruined my day, but I don't think I would have been stabbed like all
You talking about it to me is ruining my day just by
that.
you saying it. But you're glutton
other
for
than that,
punishment, man. You're glutton for
other than
punishment.
that, it was fun. Dude, the rush you get from because I've done it. Like I've cleaned that before. It's just that's like one of the hardest obstacles in that entire mountain.
So is it like a thing for you? Not to go too. I know we don't have a ton of time, but is it like a thing for you with like the downhill where is it almost a rush to go through something like that and have to get up, get back on the bike, and go through the same line like clean? Like I guess that's how you
Uh,
would say it, like right, like have a clean run basically.
yeah, like doing it because I've done it before, and if my hands weren't so gassed from being at the end of the day, I would have just got back up and gone to the top and just done it again. But also that was pretty scary, hitting a log sticking on the ground like that, basically just doing that. So yeah, like doing like new lines is, I mean, it's fun. It's like skiing or snowboarding, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's
Just
more
Final
dangerous, but
Destination like stuff just waiting to happen, man. The log sticking up out of the ground, forget that. That's
oh,
why I won't do it.
uh,
My
uh, there's like scratch marks or like smudge marks on my I guess it's on this side on my downhill helmet, and I have like a carbon fiber, so you can like see the wood marks like on the chin of my helmet. And yeah, it
That's
was
gnarly, man.
that could have been pretty bad. So yeah, other than that, it was a great weekend. We were up there for a couple of nights, and just mountain crisp air. It's so relaxing. It was nice and cool. It was like 30 degrees at night. Girlfriend made homemade chili. That was pretty cool, and we had a couple of beers after that.
There you go.
And yeah, just buzzed back and worked on the app, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. Should be going into beta pretty soon. So
Yeah, you said you made some progress on it. You know, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I know you and I were kind of going through some iterations of it, and you've made some other updates. So it's going to be pretty cool to share that with some colleagues of mine and have them check it out and get some more feedback on it.
yeah, I think by next week that thing will be ready for beta test. Actually, it'll be ready tomorrow for beta testing, but we should get hard feedback by next week. So yeah,
Awesome.
all that to say, fun mountain trip. Yeah, keep your eyes open and head up on those aggressive
A,
trails.
a
So
glutton for punishment. A glutton for punishment. Speaking of glutton for punishment,
anyway, how, what, what's going on in Dougie's
speaking
world?
of glutton for punishment, the Mets continue to embarrass me as a fan, but they're still in the playoff race, which is great. I don't want to harp too much on that. The terrible thing as a Mets fan, or just for me, I feel like, is when I don't watch them, they tend to win, right? And they tend to do really well. And whenever I do watch them, they blow games. They can't like they'll have a lead and they give up a lead, can't score runs. Like it's awful. So and like as a diehard fan, of course, all I want to do like it's baseball. They play 162 games a year, so they play almost every day, up until playoffs, which are coming in the next week. But I can't watch them because I feel like if I do, they'll just start playing horribly. So yesterday, they're playing the Chicago Cubs. This is like a do or die game for the Mets. There's like 5 games left, and they almost have to win every single one of them to stay in. And I start watching the game, and they're immediately down 6-1 or 6-0, I think, right? Like losing six, and I turned it off. I get a text from my buddy who's like, "Can you believe it? I can't believe this. It's crazy. They tied it." And I'm like, "You're
Oh,
kidding me," because I'm not watching it. So I go back and I go to watch it, and the Mets are up 7-6, and the Cubs immediately tie it 7-7. Turn the game off. The Mets end up winning it 9-7. So I feel like my lesson here is to not watch the Mets and maybe to just enjoy it through other, I don't know, channels or something, or just by, word of mouth and just have people tell me that they're doing really well. So again, speaking about buttons for punishment, the Mets never cease to fail me in that
so
capacity.
they have 4 games left.
They have,
In
let's
the
see, they
new
have one, two, they have 5 games left. And basically they pretty much have to win most of these games. The Cincinnati Reds are like a game behind them. So basically, if the Reds win the next couple and the Mets lose the next couple, it's over. The Reds will go into the playoffs, the Mets will be booted out. If the Mets win the next couple and the Reds lose the next couple, everything's fine. Once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. So, but that's kind of where I'm at still, very much focused on that. Besides that, binge weekend with the wife. There's this show, Black Rabbit. I don't know if you're a big like Netflix guy or anything like that, but I'll find a show and I binge the hell out of it. Like I won't
Yeah,
stop
okay.
watching it. Black
Yeah.
Rabbit with
What's
Jason
that?
Bateman, Will Arnett. It's on Netflix. It's about this restaurant owner who lives in New York City and he gets caught up with like the mob or something and they come after him and his brother in the restaurant.
Okay.
It's really, really good. Really cool show. I'm a big Jason Bateman fan, so
Okay.
that's also why I watched it. But I basically cleared it out within a day and a half, and it was like this 10-episode miniseries. Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot of couch chilling this weekend.
Yeah. Dude, last time I did that, I watched the Netflix Manhunt with Osama bin Laden.
That was good too. That was really
the
good.
last 45 minutes, bananas. I was just
So while you're out being active, I'm just sitting on the couch like a fat slob, just watching Netflix and like eating snacks and stuff. But that was my weekend. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're kind of NHL starting soon, so that's good. That's good. So and by the way, as far as paid platforms, can you kind of shed some light on that and what it, because I kind of know about it, but I mean, is it really just like a light switch? You just like turn it on and then bam, you've got
Somewhat, right? So again, I think this kind of connects everything we've been talking about. Again, this goes into, your go-to-market plan, some of your research, even your email marketing. How do you feed people into that funnel? And paid media or your paid channels, PPC. There's a bunch of different things people call them. It's all kind of the same, at least in my experience. It is almost the flip of a light switch, depending on what you use, right? And when I talk paid media, I typically think of a few things, right? Like Google Ads comes to mind. And I think that's the big one, right? Everyone knows Google Ads, at least in the marketing sphere, right? Or SEO sphere, et cetera, AI, all that stuff. Meta is another big one, Meta being Instagram and Facebook ads. You have your TikTok ads. And then outside of that, maybe some outliers, right? Pinterest, Reddit ads. Yep, Reddit ads are a big one these days, especially just how much influence it has, in those subreddit communities and things like that. And they can be very, very niche. So especially for AI apps, right, that's a really strong contender to consider in terms of, again, getting on Reddit ads, flipping that light switch and starting to get people over into your app, whether it be downloads, leads, etc. But it is. And if you want to start thinking through that and what platform or platforms are best for your app, you do need to have a better understanding, again, of who are you serving, where are they looking, where are they most active? And listen, you can take a guess and just go on all these platforms and see what the results look like. Or again, you can be a little bit more intelligent and strategic about it and say, okay, if I have an application that is serving, let's say you have a fitness app, right? But it's meant for really busy moms, right? Moms on the go. And it's like, they're working and they have children, but it's moms who have an app that want to focus on their diet, their lifestyle, how much they work out, and how all of that basically affects, maybe their mood, their weight, how they feel, right? All of those things, right? Maybe somebody comes out with an app like that. You can think of all of these places to be, right? And I kind of challenge you, Charlie, right? If there's an application like that, what do you think would be the best platform to go on out of some of the ones I just named, or maybe a different one that I didn't throw out there?
I would look at a subreddit first. I would validate the idea first on a subreddit, and then I would hit that same subreddit. I have no idea how to do paid ads, but I would, I guess, just figure it out. So I would hit that subreddit because that to me is the pond where those fish are going to be.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, you're not wrong in saying that, right? First thing you said was spot on. You validate the idea, right? So again, are there enough busy moms out there who have young kids who are still working, but they're very mindful again of their their weight, their lifestyle, how they feel, healthy living, et cetera, and how all of that collectively impacts them, right? Are there any apps out there that cater to that? Would they be interested in that? My guess is yes. I think we obviously know that there are a lot of people who probably fit that demographic, right? And two, there probably are a lot of those people who are very interested in how an application can benefit them in any capacity to check off any of those boxes. So yes, I think Reddit would be a really good place to start running ads and making sure that you're hitting some subreddits and some communities in order to kind of, see if there's any engagement there. Some people may say TikTok might be a good place for visibility for
Yeah.
this, right? Because again, if you can target and go on TikTok and target based on interest, based on demographic information to an extent, you can target it to maybe I only want to target females who are in the age range of 30 to 50, right? And I already know that that's probably the majority of where most younger moms are, right? Maybe even a little bit younger than 50. Maybe call it 25 to 40, right? That's probably where you'd stop, right? 25 to 40 young moms, and their interests, layering that in, are health. Their interests are weight loss. Their interests are dieting. Their interests are exercise, right? And you can layer all of those in and then start creating very targeted ads to them on something like TikTok, which is a much more visible based platform running ads, whether they be static or video. And that's where you can start garnering some interest and again, gaining some traction in terms of people who are going to come back over, check out your website, check out your application, and actually see if it's a fit for them. So again, it's all about thinking of where the fish are in the pond, which pond you want to fish in, and whether it's a Google or it's a Reddit or it's a YouTube or a TikTok or a Meta. So again, for my use case example, TikTok sounds like a great one. Meta sounds like a great one. Instagram, Facebook sound like a good one. Reddit sounds like a good one. For things like, a health application like that, Google probably wouldn't be as pertinent. Google is definitely a little bit more, I think, e-commerce based and just doesn't really fit that type of niche, but I could be wrong in that too. And listen, if you have the type of budget to go out and test those things, I would never say don't do it, but it just wouldn't be one of the first platforms I go out there to recommend for somebody.
Okay. Okay. So for the context of this overarching video to introduce paid media, what will we be talking about the next couple of weeks?
And just to kind of tee it up too, again, I think this is a really good segue to, I think next week, I definitely want to cover each one of these platforms, right? And how you set up campaigns on each of these and what you should set it up for. So I think next week, covering something like Google Ads would be really great because Google Ads is people who are on there are definitely a different type of user and user intent than somebody who's on Meta or somebody who's on TikTok, right? And I apologize, I keep saying Meta. Meta is Facebook and Instagram. Just like kind of keep hammering that home. But think about it from your perspective, or for anybody listening from your perspective. You don't go onto Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok with the intent to find something to buy, right? You are typically on there because you're either just scrolling through reels or your friends' posts or stories. And between all of that, you're getting served ads, right? And those ads are based on, again, your interest, your behavior, your demographic information that's all been collected. But you're never really going into any of these platforms, and I'm never going onto Facebook and typing in nice t-shirts, extra large t-shirts for men, right? Like I just wouldn't do that. But I'm going to go onto Google and type in extra large t-shirts for men, right? And I might even go as far as black extra large t-shirts for men, right? Because that's just the fit I like, it's the color I want, and that's a very high intent search query. So for somebody on Google, you want to be able to cater to high intent search queries, which are very low funnel users. All right. So this all makes sense. You kind of following where I'm going so far?
So with a background in SEO and for our listeners that are just builders, like engineers background, how do you find keyword volume? Is that tied into like Google Ads or, there's SEMrush and Ahrefs, obviously, but or do you using both? You decide together? Like
you could use SEMrush.
How do you find what keywords to
Yeah. Good question. You could use SEMrush. You could use Ahrefs. You could use, and Google has its own keyword and forecasting tool, which we'll cover next week. So again, if you want to go in there with, again, we'll just use t-shirts again for this. You could type in, extra large black t-shirts for men, and it'll show you what that search volume looks like on Google for any given time period. It's typically over a 30-day time period, and it typically shows you throughout the entire country, right? So throughout the US, you'll see how many people are searching for that. Obviously, if the search volume is really high, you know that there's a lot of users that you can target with that. and that there's typically a lot of search intent there. If there's low search volume, it works the same way as SEO. There's just not enough people to probably activate the ad to even display, and you're probably not going to get a good return on your investment. So I would always start there if you're going to go onto Google. Definitely do your keyword research, make sure there's enough volume first and foremost. If there's enough volume, then you have the capability and the potential to actually grab these people, have them click your ad, go to your website or whatever the end goal is, the end landing page, and complete the action that you want them to take. That would be Google. Again, low funnel, user, high intent, typically transactional, and that's what you want to look for. If you are on a platform like, again, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, I look at those as more visibility and brand awareness drivers and consideration drivers than anything else. It's not that they don't convert, right? Like I could run video ad on Instagram, and as someone's scrolling through, again, some guy's wearing a t-shirt and it says how comfortable they are, and they're soft and they don't shrink when they wash, and the material's really high grade, and we're selling them for only $19.99, right? Like $19.99 per shirt. I can run those kinds of ads on Instagram, and I can do it based on knowing who my demographic is, saying, okay, I'm going to serve this to men who are in the age range of 18 to 60 plus and who live in the United States and who may have had the intent of searching for clothing or who have an interest in clothing and apparel, right? But that's as granular as I can get. I can't go on Facebook or Instagram and say, I want you to find me anybody who searched, men's t-shirts in the last 30 days. But what you can do is retarget people who may have been on specific websites or other areas to like clothing apparel websites to target them in that capacity. But it's just it's a different targeting method. So
okay.
I look at Meta, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as things to really help drive the brand awareness. So if I'm creating a brand that's Connor's t-shirts, I use social media as my platform to get my name out there and drive interest. And again, all of those value propositions and selling points. So someone looks at my ad and says, wow, those are really nice t-shirts. They look great. I'm really interested, with the assumption that they will most likely go back to Google and then search Connor's t-shirts. And now my brand that I'm paying for to show at the top of the search results for Connor's t-shirts is going to be the first result that shows up. They click on the Google ad and they end up purchasing. So it's all very supplemental and all very hand in hand, and a more holistic approach when I think of paid media, right? You may have some people or marketers who just put all their eggs in the Meta basket, or all in the TikTok basket, or all in the Google basket. And that works depending on the type of audience, right? Maybe your audience is really young and they just don't search on Google, right? And they're very visual and they need to see the ad on TikTok, and that's all they respond to. And that just takes some testing. But what I see typically work best is if you have a healthy enough budget, allocate that budget between all of these platforms and have them all work kind of hand in hand with one another to achieve the end
result. Oh, okay. And we'll go all into that next episode, right? And that's Google Ads.
Yeah, I think we cover Google Ads next week. I really want to dive into the keyword research for you guys, show you how you would kind of validate, again, the search volume, and then how you set up a simple campaign to start targeting these keywords and start getting some clicks through. So again, we'll probably use a different example. I know I jump around with those, but that's kind of the gist of it. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to jumping through that stuff. This is the kind of stuff I love and what I do for clients on a daily basis right now.
Cool. All right, let's do it. And we'll jump in right now. This is, again, that's for episode 19. That's next week. So let's jump into the Mark Vassilevskiy interview. All right. And with us today, with us, by us, I mean me, because I'm running solo on this one. Connor's out, is Mark Vassilevskiy, CEO of Skale.solutions. The kid can't even legally drink, and he's got a badass company. So hats off to Mark. So Mark, please say hello and introduce yourself.
Yeah. So, hey, everybody. So, I'm Mark. I'm 19. I'm from Kazakhstan. The recently got to the US. Yeah. So, I built one of the biggest design agencies in Silicon Valley. Right now, we work with the biggest AI names such as Bolt.new, ClickUp, Walk, Korea AI, Bremer, and yeah, like signing more and more AI startups in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley. I scaled the team to 20 people at the moment, and yeah, we're crushing it.
That's awesome, man. That's badass. How long has it been around?
So basically, I've been a designer myself for 5 years, but I
Mhm.
opened the agency in November of 2024, so like less than a year ago. Yeah.
Woo. Okay. So going back from day one, how did you start it? Like what gave you the idea and what were you doing before that?
Yeah. So yeah, before, so I basically started when I was like 14 to design, right? And it just like came out like randomly, right? I think at the time like pandemic started, so I started spending more time like learning new things. I discovered the front end, and then I switched from front end development to design, right? And I liked it. And I've done a couple of projects. I found a few clients back in Kazakhstan. They paid me like $200 for like a mobile app design, which was insane, right? Like you were like 14 kid, you like discovered something new, you just made like $200. Yeah, it was cool. Then, yeah, I had a lot of like ups and downs. I never made a lot of money out of design, right? At the same time, I was also writing articles on medium.com about design, about entrepreneurship, about coding as well. And they were actually monetizing pretty well, right? So design was like more like a hobby for me. And I was spending a lot of time on like writing articles. Then on the medium.com, they changed the algorithms and the CEO changed. So basically monetization dropped by like a lot, like 10 times. And a friend of mine advised me to switch from Medium to X, to Twitter. And it was the best decision of my life, right?
Mark, how many followers do you have right now on X? We started
So
it.
right now I have 25K followers. And yeah, I basically started posting on X 1.5 years ago,
Hmm.
like in the beginning of 2024. But I opened an agency in November, right? So I was posting on Twitter before I opened the agency. And yeah, so when I opened the agency, I already had like my like 6K followers, like
Yeah.
designers, and yeah.
So I recently started my personal X account and I just post about like some hockey stuff. I do downhill mountain biking. So like I post about trails and like my bike in a gondola.
Yeah.
Like that's about it. Like for those vibe coders listening, as founders, how would they grow? What tips do you have to grow their audience on X?
Yeah, so actually, I recently shared a post about that. Basically, the way how you grow from 0 followers to like 500 followers is you engage more than you post, right? Basically, nobody knows
Okay.
you, nobody cares about you. So you just basically leave like 30, 50, 60 replies slash comments a day
Okay.
to all the people interested to you and all the people who would you want to follow you and all the people in your niche, right? So you basically spend like well, I mean, for me, I was basically living like on a platform. Maybe I was living like in like hundreds of replies a day. I don't remember. I don't
Wow.
actually remember. It should be like a lot, right? It's the numbers game. And all the friends that I recommended to, they all followed this advice and they all started to feel some engagement, right? Because you not only leave comments. Oh, first of all, you leave high quality comments, not just like
Hmm.
yeah, people like agree. You like share some thoughts.
Yeah.
You also try to DM people, you try to connect with people. Let's say if you like go into my DMs and you, I don't know, like share some interesting thought or I don't know, like help me with something or you just want to like argue with me or something else. Well, first of all, I'll definitely respond to you because I like respond to basically everyone in the DMs unless it's like some spam. And second of all, if I actually interested in your profile and what you share with me, I will definitely follow you back. Right. So it's basically like this engagement, which is like replying, DMing, like doing all this engagement basically helps you to get to like 500 followers, right? From 500 followers, what you do is it depends on the niche, but I generally think you can come up with something in almost every niche. So you start to do giveaways slash lead magnets, right? And let's say in my niche, in the design niche, I would basically giving away Figma designs and Framework templates,
Okay.
right? So you basically make a post saying like, okay, so here's a giveaway for the next 24 hours. You can get these like firmware template for free. What you need to do is you need to like, comment, and repost. And like I'll send it to you, right? You can use like Typefully to automate this process. I was doing it manually because I didn't know. Also, yeah, it's basically the most efficient way to grow if you actually give away something useful. And you can give away like something, you can give away either information or the product or service, right? So let's say I also had like a few cases when I gave away like my free design service. So let's say like I can like take like 5 more clients and I say like, okay, so reply with your website and I'll choose like the 5 best winners and I'll redesign the website for you guys, right? And it actually helped
Mm.
me to get like the first customers back when I opened the agency. So yeah, you basically grow from 500 to maybe like 5K followers by doing
Mhm.
giveaways. And giveaways are super efficient, right? Because again, if you do everything right and you spend a lot of efforts and time, you can basically get like 1K followers within one day. So because one day I had like 500 followers, I do giveaway. Next day, I wake up to like 1,500 followers. Like it's super fast, right? It's all about the quality because I saw a lot of people like do some like shitty designs and like you trying to give away. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It should be like something cool, right? But again, you can give away the service, you can give away information. Service and information are more tough to give away because you need to be an expert in this field. And if you have 0 followers, people will not think you're an expert, right? So the
Yeah.
easiest one is the product, but product depends on the niche. So it's all like a little subjective, right? But the next part, after you have like a few thousand followers, you download the extension called Tweet Hunter, and you basically go to all the profiles of people bigger than you in your niche. And Tweet Hunter shows you the most viral post of each person.
Mhm.
You just see that, like make a table of the most performing post, and you just replicate those, right? So let's say if I see some designer who has like 50K followers, 100K followers, I see like which post like got the most attention, and I just replicate those, right? Then you just experiment as much as you can, right? I would say the range between like 5K followers to 10K followers is the best place to grow because you're big enough for your post to go viral, and you're small enough for people not to care about you, right? So you can post like
Mm.
anything you want, right? Anything you want, and like if it's not good, then nobody will care about you, right? If it's good, it will blow up.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Good stuff. So going back to your first couple clients, how did you keep your sanity during that time? Because I remember like getting my first couple clients like web design. It was just my brain was just like breaking. It was like every day was something different. So how did you keep your sanity during that time,
Yeah, well, I think I was used to that. Well, it was like a lot of
or did you not?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress
Yeah.
now as well, right? I mean, all the service businesses, I think you get more stress than like the SaaS and products because you always need to work with people. It's like a people business.
Yep.
Uh,
Nobody cares more than the founder as well.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it was hard. I had a period in November when I just opened the agency. In a couple of weeks, I made a post that went viral and brought me like maybe like 7, 10 client calls.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was insane. You get on like, I don't know, like 3 client calls a day and you close all of them. Like it happened for me. You close all of them. And
Hmm.
now you have like after 10 clients at the same time that you close within 1 week. And now you need to decide what you need to do with them, right? And it's tough. That it basically makes you feel super, super stressful. So it helps you to super fast, to think super fast and to hire super fast. And I think Alex Hormozy said about that there is not no such thing as overexpansion. There is only under talenting. Yeah. Anyway, so there is no like you cannot scale too fast. You just like if you think you scale too fast, it just means that you don't know how to hire right and fast. That's it. Yeah. So I hired a team right now, but pretty decent team, and we still hire to this day, and still a lot of stress, a lot of client work. Yeah.
Gotcha. And your agency has a bundle, right? Not just the website.
Yeah.
There's other components to it.
So we can provide separate services as well.
Was that always from day one, by the way? It wasn't just the website, it was always other
Actually, no, from day
components?
one, it was like me, like my first designer album. And like right now, he's my co founder. When we got this demand, we decided to be co founders. But anyway, we made only websites. And let's say we get a client for the website, and then the client says, "Oh, Mark, I mean, can you also do the pitch deck?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Right. So we do the pitch deck. And now the next client comes and he sees the pitch deck on my Twitter page. He's like, "Oh, we want pitch deck as well." And it's a never ending clue because new clients come and they always ask, "Can you guys make us like animation?" We're like, "Oh, I mean, we can try. We haven't done before, but we can try. I mean, they already trust us." So I find new people. We do that. Clients love it. I post on Twitter. People love it. We get more clients for this. And so as a result, we provide everything with the design. We provide the launch videos, the websites, the products, the pro design, pro development, and the branding. Right. The highest, like the most popular thing with sell is launch videos because they always like go viral, like look amazing. Yeah, launch videos are like the most hyped thing for SF startups. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And for those, again, for those like vibe coders and builders listening, what are maybe 2 or 3 points, maybe 2 or 3 tips they can put on their website that would help with conversions?
2, 3 tips to put on the website to have the conversion. So
Yeah.
that's a good question. Let me think about it.
I know like design is, it's
Yeah,
subjective, right? So it's like how do
no,
you
well, there is a lot of use in that, right? I mean, if you think about conversions, it's not subjective at all, right?
Right,
If you
right.
want to build a website to have some more conversions, it's not subjective. Yeah, the first one is try to never make websites over like 6, 7 sections, right? If you have a lot of sections, like 6, 7 plus sections on a website on a landing
Hmm.
page, it would basically increase the bounce rate, right? Like the bounce rate, and like I saw some website with a bounce rate of like 80, 90%, and by the footer, and it's pretty bad, right? Bounce rate is basically how many people will close your website after reaching this specific section. To know the bounce rate, you should download the Hotjar, hotjar.com, I think, and it
Hmm.
gives you the heat map. You can connect your website, see the heat map. You can see where people leave your website to see the bounce rate. Yeah, so try to, okay, first of all, try to have the landing page instead of the multi-pager. Almost nobody needs a multi-pager in 90% of the cases. Then limit your landing page to like not more than like 7 sections.
Hmm.
I would say for conversions, copy, the copywriting matters much more than the design. So spend more time on the copy. And even if you paste your link to Page Speed Insights and it shows you 100% SEO, it doesn't mean nothing. It shows 100% to everyone, right? So like you need to invest in the SEO and copy a lot. It would give you a huge boost. Always use the same scanning pattern along the landing page. There is like a F scanning pattern, there is a Z scanning pattern, and I would prefer to use F. Always keep the hierarchy, like the big title, a smaller subtitle, and the CTA, right? Don't overcomplicate. If you see someone, like see some of your competitor, okay, let me phrase it a different way. Don't try to make something unique on your landing page. It will hurt your conversions a lot. It's a big risk, right?
Really?
Yeah, because I genuinely think, well, it's something like I read a lot of studies on that, and we'll sell that. So again, if you want to focus on conversions, then looking what others do and doing just literally 99% the same
Hmm.
is the best option you can do, right? Yeah, don't try to like make something unique, right? Unless you want to play a long-term game, build a brand awareness, right? Make people specifically remember your website, right? And all of that. But it's a different question, right? Because again, conversions is yeah, specific for conversions. If you want to make these changes and see more people, more click-through rate like tomorrow, that's like the best like general advice I can give. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So as you were scaling in the agency, you're getting these big clients, you're getting, some pretty big names,
Yeah.
and they're asking you other services and everything. How did you not dive into, or like maybe, or did you test the waters with maybe like SEO, like we were saying, or like email retargeting or paid ads, or
Yeah.
YouTube retargeting? Or, like how did you just stay focused on design?
Yeah. That's a good question. Well, we just yeah, we had a few clients who wanted us to do the SEO. We thought about that, and we understood it will be inefficient for us at this moment alive. It will be much more efficient to find some like partner SEO agency, and we can just like give these clients to them and just like take like 10, 15% as a referral. And that's it. Yeah, there are some. So the thing is, when we saw the boom with launch videos, we understood that it's like when you see when something is working, you always want to double down on that. You don't want to diversify, right?
Yeah.
Say if we position us, also let's say if we do SEO, it's harder to position ourselves, right? Because if we do just design, which we do just design, right? Just different types of design, but we still do design. It basically helps us to position ourselves as the, let's say, the biggest or one of the biggest design agencies in Silicon Valley and design agency of California, design agency of Silicon Valley, right? If you start with SEO, you're not a design agency anymore. You're more like a marketing agency, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it also reflects the SEO because if you want to compete with other marketing agencies, it's going to be tough. If you want to compete with other design agencies, it's going to be much easier.
Okay, interesting. So from day one, did you handle all of the sales calls?
I'm gonna be honest, to this day, I still handle all the yeah.
Do you
from,
really?
from day one to this day, I still handle all these client calls. Yeah, all of them, and on average, have like three client calls a day.
Ooh, yeah,
Uh,
that you probably learn pretty quick, right? I mean, how is your style from at that point they're approaching you, so it's a different dynamic. What have you learned from the start to today in terms of the sales process? And has it changed at all?
so I never had a script. I just feel I had like more than like 500 calls already, and I'm just so well. I'm not nervous anymore. Like I don't stutter. I'm not nervous. I just ask.
Mhm.
questions I need to ask. And yeah, honestly, the sales process hasn't changed though, right? I would say the same. I just became more
Really?
confident. I just maybe I understood some more questions I need to ask.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I would say it's pretty similar. The sales process hasn't changed a lot. Yeah.
Gotcha. When we started, actually, I got my first client from a cold call. It was a redesign, and then we transitioned into just SEO. And earlier this year, maybe February, March, I stumbled into vibe coding, and we transitioned to just SEO. So we vibe coded a forecast tool, plugging in historical data from like GA4, and we have an e-commerce, and I mean, that's completely changed our acquisition, which is pretty badass. SEO is very like black and white, right? It's very data driven, like we were saying. So AI tool has definitely helped. So can you tell us about this case study? It says on the website you claimed to have helped a company reach a 67 million valuation without app users or marketing.
Is that Europol? Yeah, yeah, it's a funny story. So first of all, case studies page on my website is not finished, right? The thing is we have so much client work that we
Mhm.
cannot focus on our own website. So our own website right now, it's the same website as I had in November of previous year.
Okay. Classic
So
story, right? Yeah, it's like like you work on
we
your own agency last.
Yeah, because even if you go to the homepage, you see we talk only about the website, and only I changed only the copy inside the price plan, like change the because I always increase the price.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same. I haven't changed anything, and it's kind of embarrassing, right? But at the same time, we like just don't cannot find the time for that. But anyway, so case studies. Yeah, it was the website hereabout.com, like a high immersive 3D website. It was a client from Florida, Jesse. And yeah, so basically, so this guy, he didn't have any exits, but he was super well connected, and he was like a pretty big name, like in a like Web3 niche.
Mhm.
So I reached out, I made this website. We won a few awards with this website, like design site of the day, like all of that. And yeah, then JC got $10 million investments for 15% of the company, which equals to like 60, like eight, $7 million valuation, right? And yeah, it's basically like an AI startup, still in progress, right? And yeah, I build a website, I build a pitch deck, I'll help with the marketing because whenever I provide some service, I always help with the marketing. We do like the repost. I made a few posts about this website, left a link, and basically helped JC to get like I think like 1K or 2K email signups. And yeah, then like with all of that, like with these like awards that we got, with the email list, with this high immersive 3D website,
Mhm.
uh, I underpriced them a lot. It was back in the days, it was our first like 3D immersive website we did. I underpriced a lot. Yeah. Like these websites cost like 70K, like 80K, right? And I charge them like below 10K. But anyways, it basically helps you to impress the investors, and it worked well. And yeah, he got the investments.
Okay, so before I ask a question about pricing, by the way, it's funny what happens when you increase your pricing, you get better clients, right?
Yeah,
It,
100%.
it's funny what it's a funny dynamic with that. But so these investors in Silicon Valley, they see pitches and decks, they see the decks all day. So what is it about? What would make them stop on a deck that you built?
Okay, so first of all, it also begins with the copy, right? If you aim to get like a few hundred thousands of investments, the competition is super high. Like basically, so the higher you aim, the easier it is because there is almost no other people who will aim that high,
Hmm.
right? And Jay's talked about that, and Roy from Cluely, he originally had the podcast with
Okay.
Jack New, right? And Roy also said the same thing, right? Like getting like 50 million of investments for Cluely from A16 was not like an issue. And like basically, the higher you aim, because so many people are so afraid to aim higher that there is almost no one who does, right? And getting investments for like 200K, it actually might be harder than getting like for I don't know, like 5 million, right?
Is it almost like a race to the bottom then in these valuations just because there's so many now
Well, it's
of
like a
these
bubble. I
AI
generally
apps?
think I
Okay.
generally think it's a AI bubble. Yeah. Well, when I say it's a AI bubble, it's let's say what happened to the dot-com bubble, right? So it means that the price of the current companies is overestimated. It's over. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say this. How to grade this. Okay, so
Overvalued?
the valuation of all of these AI companies is overrated in terms of like when I say the bubble, it doesn't mean that like AI will go away right after the bubble pops. Bubble means we pay the higher price than it actually is, right? In simple words. So let's say like the Palantir, like it goes like billions of dollars, right? When it's actually worth, okay, let's say it's actually worth like $100 million, but it goes to like $1 billion, right? Because there is like such huge like FOMO on AI that we're tend to overpay for the stock price, right? So let's say the company, like on average, would like I don't know value again like 100 mil. Right now, the value is at 1 bill, right? Basically because of the FOMO, because people are overpaying more for the stocks. Because again, like basically when the market grows, it doesn't matter for how much you buy the stock, right? If you know that the market will grow anyway, like tomorrow, let's say you buy the stock like for like I don't know like $50 per stock, and
Just
tomorrow it's
get
gonna
it.
be like yeah,
Yeah.
just get it. You don't care
Yeah.
about the price. You don't care about the price, right? So that's basically more people like get into the AI niche. And because they were almost 100% sure, like right now AI grows, right? And everybody talks about AI. They basically pay more. And as long as nobody cares about the stock price and everybody cares only about the return from tomorrow, that's how basically eventually like the bubble reaches like its like pinnacle, right? And yeah, same with the .com, right? Same with the .com. Let's say like when like all these like companies like Yahoo, they were overpriced, right? People were willing to pay more for Yahoo, not because Yahoo is cool, but because people knew that they could make money on return from Yahoo, right? As a result, it gave like a lot of margins on the stock, which are actually not real. Like there is nothing behind these margins. There is nothing that would make like the Yahoo stock like cost like 200 and 100, right? It just like the FOMO, right? And when you see that like the only reason why some of the AI companies grow only because of the AI FOMO, it will mean that eventually like the bubble will pop, like they'll get to like the right valuation that they should be, right? Yeah, that's my point of view.
How
Um,
long? Okay, okay. And because you have great insight because you talk to these companies all day. How long do you think we'll be in this bubble or this FOMO phase?
I think probably by the end of oh wait, okay, so it's already September 2025, right? Okay, my prediction it will happen in 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that.
And what will happen? Like with Bitcoin and late, I think it was 2018, it just tanked. Or no, I think it was early 2018 if I remember. It tanked.
Yeah, around that.
What do you think will trigger an AI? How will we know that bubble is popped?
Well, we basically know. Okay, so here's the thing. Recently, right now in New York, I recently was in the South, and I had like an Uber, and the Uber driver, he was listening to the YC podcast inside the car, right?
Yes.
And
That
that's
is
that's the first
gangster.
sign of bubble, right? If you read like any financial book,
Did you tweet about this?
I do about that
Okay,
exactly.
yeah, I saw. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
cool. I also
I do
saw the
about that.
tweet that you said iMessage is
Well,
garbage. I
it's
was like,
actually true, right?
okay.
Because whenever a taxi driver talks about the stock,
Mhm.
right, you understand that you should not buy the stock anymore, right?
Yeah, yep.
And the thing is, yeah, he listened to YC startup, and he was building like his own like AI agents, like in the morning and like AI startups. What I'm saying is that people will continue doing these AI startups eventually, and they will not die. The only thing will happen is that at one point, let's say like the Palantir stock or like some other company will basically drop like 10x, right? Just because people will understand eventually that like the value that this company provides is not enough to keep this price of stock, right? Again, same as .com, because there are like a lot of like market crashes, right? And these AI crashes more similar to the .com bubble. I would say the taxi drivers is the first sign. Then, I mean, yeah, everybody talks about AI. Like it's also like pretty. Everybody wants to insert AI into their SaaS, even though it may be not needed, right?
I think that's a good indicator. The cab driver, it's like the barber on Wall Street,
Mhm.
kind of the fly on the wall that hears everything. I think that's pretty interesting. So okay, getting back to Scale, we actually do have a SaaS product coming out. It's a tighter, more knowledgeable AI trained on like website data, SEO, Google Ads, email, all of that. It's brain dumped from myself and our CMO. If we signed up for Scale, we're just an AI
Mhm.
SaaS founder, what would we get? How does that process go? And then what would we get from scaling pardon me, I guess we would scale, but what would we get from signing up with Scale?
you scale, right? If you sign with Scale, you will scale. I actually find that right now, like, so I came up with this name like randomly, but right now it actually makes sense. Yeah, so basically the idea of our agency is that we like don't specifically focus on conversions, right? We still get clients who want to increase conversions, and we're still like experts in that, so we can still help you with that. But
Mhm.
our idea, our ICP, is people who want to like increase the brand awareness and make people on X and on like LinkedIn and like Instagram to talk about their startup, right? So let's
Gotcha.
say there is superpower.com, right? One of the most like boomed websites of like 2024, right? Maybe 2025. They always like change it all the time. But yeah, so the previous website, superpower.com, was highly immersive, and people were talking about all the time, right? Again, Superpower is a B2C company that basically needs they do, so you don't care about conversions when they have like 1,000 users, 1,000 monthly users, right? You care about conversions when you have like millions of users, right?
Yeah.
And when they have
Yeah.
1,000 users, what you want to do is you want people to talk about you as much as you can. That's what Cluely does. That's why Cluely spent 100 grand on landing page, right? First of all, it's a really good landing page, right? My friend Alex Barashkov, he's done it.
Mhm.
And yeah, he did it. And the second thing is 100K is like super big number. So some people would say like, oh, it doesn't worth 100K. Like, oh, like it's too bad for 100K, or it's too good for like a lot of things, right? Yeah, and it basically you can see like all these posts they go so viral, and especially if you live in the south, you like go to some event, like the first thing like someone will ask you, oh, have you seen the new Cluely website? Oh, have you seen like the new Cluely poster? Oh, have you seen like the new like launch video, but like I don't know, like Magic Path, like some companies, I don't know. And so yeah, basically we provide launch videos and the websites as our two main services, and we make them the highest quality we can, like the highest quality in the market. Most of our websites are complex, highly like advanced, complex, heavy. So again, it's just made for people to know about you, and if you go to superpower.com one time, you remember it for the lifetime, right? But again, not now. Right now, they basically. So the thing is, there is this thing pre-funding websites and post-funding websites. And you see like pre-funding websites, they all like are super like immersive and like heavy, and post-funding websites are pretty much like simple, like clean,
Really?
minimalistic,
Okay.
right? Yeah. There was like a funny post, like I saw on Twitter, and I was read about that. So yeah, it's actually true. People make these like crazy websites for other people to talk about that, and when they get like millions of users, then they
Mhm.
change back and change like to more simple and high conversion websites. So it's always the case. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. How long does that process take from like step one to
yeah. So say the launch video we usually do around.
deliverables?
Yeah, launch video we do around with three weeks
Oh,
from.
wow.
We usually send like a questionnaire to the client and ask for some entry level of commitment, like the script of the video you want to get, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, let's say we know what your brand does, we know what you do, but we still need to understand what you want to convey with the video, right? So we need like the final script and again the questionnaire, and yeah, so basically it takes like 3 weeks for the launch video and takes around 5 weeks for the website. Yeah,
5 weeks. Wow. That's pretty fast, man. That's good stuff.
yeah.
It's pretty solid. Okay, as we wrap up here. Okay, so we go to Scale, 3 weeks, 5 weeks. I guess it'd be total. What is next for Scale? What's rolling into Q4 and what's new for 2026?
Yeah. So the first thing as so the companies that we work with, we believe in them, right? And even though I said like there is maybe like an AI bubble, right? I still highly believe like all the companies I work with, we will like be on the market and like we will grow them, right?
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to take equity in companies. Maybe you heard about the story of MetaLab of Andrew Wilkinson. Basically, MetaLab is the biggest design agency in the world. I think they worth like $1 billion, and they made like all the products for Uber, Instacart, all of these companies, Midjourney, yeah, like even like for Google. And they took equity in the companies, so they made a lot of cash, took a lot of equity. Equity skyrocketed. They sold the equity. They have cash, but they invest in other companies, and yeah, so far so on. Yeah, so our goal is definitely to partner up with more, I would say, like seed and Series A startups
Yeah.
and take equity. Let's say we partner. Well, okay, we already work with both, right? But we don't have equity involved. Let's say we like change our partnership terms. We get some equity involved. We can get some equity like in other big companies we work with, and yeah, basically it's a win-win because we're not. I would say within the next couple of months, we're gonna stop doing any one-off projects. So like, let's say client comes for just launch video, we're not gonna do that, right?
Really?
We are work. Right now we do. In a couple of months, probably will not,
Mhm.
because it makes much more sense for us to increase the LTV, the lifetime
Yeah.
value, right? And to always like work with a company I actually believe in, and when I have like long-term partnerships, and let's say they can pay us like monthly retainer for our whole team to work with them, and yeah, we can also take some equity, right? And as long as we have equity, and as long as like they are interested in working with us and we're interested in working with them, it's like a win-win.
Yeah,
We
it
both,
works. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, and it's a working strategy. There is like many companies, not only in the design niche. I think there is like sandwich video. They were making like IRL production videos that also took equity. There is Lab, as I said, that took equity, and there is a lot of other companies who took equity. Yeah, it's definitely working. It's super risky. It's super risky. Again, I can take equity like of some AI company tomorrow, and like the bubble will pop up like in 2 weeks, and I will lose a lot of that, right? But again, as long as you believe in something, as long as you don't sell, and as long as you believe in something, it should not matter. Yeah.
Do you yourself invest in startups?
Do I self invest? So not in startups. I was investing in crypto
Mm.
back in the days. I think like back in like 2021. Yeah, actually, I made some really nice returns. I was even like 7x on my whole portfolio. And I was like 15, 16 around that. And yeah,
Wh-
crypto was fun.
What did you
Since
have? Like just Ethereum or Ethereum Bitcoin or?
I was no, I had like a lot of coins. I had like Solana when it just came out. I had a lot of coins. I was also one of the early users of Steppen. Steppen was like the first like move to earn app. So you basically just run in the morning and they give you like Solana coins,
Okay.
and then you just like like it's like basically like an NFT game, right? And
Okay.
also made some return there. And yeah, since then, I decided not to invest in anything unless my business.
Okay.
So I invest only like every. So if you can put $1 into your business and it can bring you like $10 back or like $100 back, the only question you should ask yourself is how many times you can like put this dollar, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, crypto, like it's risky, but again, like you basically give money to something that you're not capable of changing yourself. Like you put like 10 grand in crypto,
Yeah.
okay, wait,
Yeah.
it doesn't bring any value. You just
Yeah.
wait. But if in your business, you can actually make something with this money, right? And yeah,
I have a friend that said, with the agency service-based model, when sales are good, you can do something. When sales are bad, you can do something about it.
exactly.
He's pretty spot on. So, well,
Actually,
cool, man.
I need to tweet that.
Yeah. You should, right? And tag me on it.
You better.
Okay. Well, cool. As we wrap up here, Mark, where can these AI SaaS founders find you?
They follow me on Twitter, on X on Twitter. I would say 90% of my clients are inbound from
Okay.
X. 10%
So,
is pros. Yeah.
so they can find you on Twitter, and your also call to action here. Your website is
Scale.solutions, scale with a K. And my Twitter is at Mark KND. Um, but yeah, but I guess we can also like leave it like in the description and
yeah. We'll put that in the description for you. Well, cool, man. Awesome, Mark. Thank you for taking a few moments on the show,
thank you to
and
Charlie. Yeah.
yeah, we'll be back next week.
All right. Yeah, sounds cool. Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Charlie, for inviting. And yeah.
Of course. Cheers.